Well, let's bring in our first management on the program. Home First Finance is who we are talking to. They reported a steady set of business growth. Disbursals and assets under management improved. Let's decode this. We have Manoj Vishwanathan, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer at Home First now joining in. Manoj, great to have you with us here as always after every quarter. Thanks for your time. We'll talk about the implications of the margin for the budget, etc. But let's start with the numbers, right? NIMs were down about 6 basis points on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Was that something that you were expecting? I think you were indicating towards some pressure. Is this it? And what can we expect from here? Manoj, you'll have to unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, the rates have been going up, gradually. So we had expected this, and last quarter we had mentioned that there could be further increase in interest rates and borrowing cost. So that has played out as expected. So there has been a slight reduction. But broadly, we are in the same 5.3% NIM range, which we have maintained. And overall income has been maintained at about 7.5. That's what we had mentioned last time as well.
Okay. Well, I want to know a little bit about growth as well, right? What kind of loan growth are you looking at? What is the sustainable loan growth? Because I was going through one report which suggested that you could double your AUM by FY27. Is that, a legitimate estimate? And what kind of loan growth would you look at, say, AUM growth by the end of FY25 and 26?
Yes, you are right. So we have always indicated about a 30% annual growth rate. Taking that calculation for the next 3 years is how we have arrived at that doubling of the portfolio in the next 3 years. So we are at about 10,000 crores now, 10,478. So we had mentioned that at a 30% growth rate for the next 3 years, we should be able to hit that 20,000 mark by FY27.
Okay, all right. Hi, Manoj. Good morning. Always good to see you in. And your NIMs, just to confirm, you'll hold it at around 5.5%, right?
Yeah, we are at 5.3. So 5.3
Yes.
In that range, we should be able to hold it now.
Okay, so around 5.3 to 5.5. I asked you 5.5 because the last time we were drifting towards that number. So should we hold it as a range, 5.3 to 5.5?
Yes, see, there will be, because as we are scaling up and, the leverage keeps on increasing, there is going to be, reduction in NIMs. That is natural. There will be a gradual reduction in NIMs every quarter. But we have to keep the eye on the ROE numbers because the leverage is also increasing correspondingly. So as you can see, we have, compared to last quarter's ROE, which was 16.1, we have moved it up to 16.3 this quarter.
Got it. 16.3 and NIMs we should work with is around 5.3%. Got it. Well, tell us a little bit about the gross NPAs. That increase on a sequential basis. What's the outlook on the asset quality from here on?
So gross NPAs have been the same. So 1.7 is what we have reported, which was the same as last quarter. There has been no change there. So overall, the asset quality has been stable.
Manoj, referring to it on an absolute basis, it's at around 155 that compares to around 139. In percentage terms, it's the same. So just wanted your sense on that.
Yeah, percentage terms, it's the same. So because the portfolio growth is kind of constant every quarter. So we are growing at an annualized rate of around 30%. So given that there is the gross NPA has kind of remained at about 1.6, 1.7% if you see over the last several quarters. So we don't see any issues as far as asset quality is concerned. And our other metrics, the early delinquency metrics like 1 day past due, 30 day past due, etc., also holding up very well.
On OPEX, would you want to give us a guidance? How much OPEX would be up in 25 over 24?
OPEX, again, we have maintained that we'll be in that 2.7 to 3% range. So this quarter, we came at around 2.7. So broadly in the 2.7 to 3% range is where we will be for OPEX as a percentage of overall assets.
Okay. Just one point. Is there a... you've said 1 or 2 sort of private equity transactions, right, a year. Is something lined up in the next 2 quarters?
Nothing planned as of now. But as we had mentioned, the private equity funds, will contemplate maybe probably one transaction a year. So that's really what it is.
But nothing on the anvil as far as you know it right now.
That's right.
Okay, but one is pending, right?
One a transaction a year is what they have indicated for liquidating their stake.
Absolutely. All right, we'll leave it there, Manoj. Great to speak with you. Thank you very much for joining us and running us through that detail. Very fast growth. 30% is essentially what their growth rate has been. Stocks up about 2%, 1,050 coming through there.